listening to the Local Earshot Podcast with your host, Johnathan Grissom. Let's talk about music.
All right. Hello, everybody. This is Johnathan Grissom of the More Bands Media and the Local Earshot Podcast. I am here with David Carlyle, and a little bit about David is that he's pretty active inside the scene here in Oklahoma City, and he also has been in several bands. And I think one of them is currently is the Giraffe Massacre. Is that one that you're currently?
Yeah, that's my main band.
Okay.
It's not really active right now. We did release a track about a month ago or so, but I'm not really doing anything.
Yeah, you're just hanging out.
I'm just hanging out.
Playing at home.
In a way, maybe this year will bring something exciting.
Yeah.
I'll fall into something or rekindle an old band.
Yeah,
perhaps.
well, I mean, I've seen what is it? You were in some bands with Ron. What was it?
Yeah. Anomalous.
And were you in Kingdom of Ashes, or was that some?
No. That's Micah, and
Okay.
like 3/4 of the band was in another band.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they're really, really good. They're all really good bands. Like Anomalous, I saw them at I saw you guys at what was it? Diamond Ballroom.
Oh yeah.
That show that
was my first time
played.
playing that.
Yeah, that was a really, really good show, and I think that it kind of puts that whole perspective out there for other people coming into music of local music, that there is talent out here, because a lot of times when those bands play the Diamond Ballroom, a lot of them they don't. I don't know. They definitely don't put people on in the crowd that you guys did when you played. Actually getting into it and stuff. Usually they ignore them and they go out in the back and smoke and stuff while the locals are playing, and then they'll come in during the major bands, or they won't even show up to the venue until after the local bands have played at Diamond. So a lot of times people show up late. So
Yeah.
anyway, I'm still waking up. So
Samesies had
it only took us 2 hours to set all this up. So
That's a true story. I was here watching them.
yeah, it's insane. The whole video stuff is just driving me nuts.
No, it
Trying
looks
to get into
good.
that.
I think it's going to turn out very well.
Yeah. So I feel like I'm on what is it? The SNL Sweaty Balls.
SNL Sweaty Balls. I'm not sure if I've seen that one yet.
You've never seen that one on a radio show and they're talking to each other and they both have that radio voice where they're all like, oh yeah, I really like to cook things for the season.
Gosh, I can only imagine.
Very NPR, sounding.
Yeah. So, all right.
Yeah. So what do you want to talk about? Because we talk about music all the time.
Yes.
In person. But I feel like whenever you get somebody on camera or in audio form, even
it is quite strange.
That they tend to
a little alienating.
They tend to shut down.
My brain just completely stopped. I was like, oh fuck.
Yeah. Oh fuck. I'm on video now. Which I'm getting used to it because I used to do make little videos and stuff like that.
You definitely jumped into it. You carp DM'd it. I was like, oh god, he's going. Let me catch up with you.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's one of those I could be I noticed that a lot of the podcasters that I watch, that I take notes from on how they do business, that there's ones that literally look at the camera. They'll have markers that little red dot. You look at that red dot all the time, you're looking right at the camera. But it's but then we have a camera over here, over there. There's another backup camera.
I don't know which one. Paparazzi. Holy shit.
Yeah. So, yeah, right. It is like paparazzi. They're everywhere. They just there's a dude over there that just jumped out of the fucking closet with a camera.
In my home?
Yeah, in your house. That's called an intruder.
Atreyu? Go get him.
It's called an intruder. That's it. You got to watch out for those guys. But yeah, it's definitely a setup. And then I had to get this little controller because apparently you can't just hook up cameras right to a computer and it work together all the time. It just malfunctions and treats them like webcams, and the quality's not that great. And so I ended up having to spend like $200 on a controller. And the controller I want though, like I don't know, you know the brand Roland? It's like a lot of audio equipment, like what is it, like pianos and stuff is their main thing. I guess I don't know what their main product is, but I know that they have a lot of different instruments.
For instrumentation, for that matter, at the very least. But at the same time, I think it's like a Chinese or Japanese company, so they probably make a little bit of everything, some soaps and bath bombs, as well as remote controls and keyboards.
Yeah, so that's weird in a way.
It is
weird. Specialize in audio equipment.
I was at the dentist, and there was a teeth whitening thing, and it said Philips on the side of it. And you think of like Philips TVs.
Oh yeah. What do you call it? The brushing.
Yeah. Well, it's actually just like hydrogen peroxide and some other element.
Oh,
it's
so
just
it's
a little
chemical.
click pin, but it says Philips.
Huh. Yeah. But yeah, this thing, it's like a roll-in video mixer, but it has all the plugs for all your cameras. And then it also has all your audio your audio inputs for all your XLRs. Yeah. And so like you can just hook it all in, and then you can control it right from the unit.
That's brilliant.
Whereas we're running a mixer, a laptop, and a controller, and that thing can do it all. And you can set the pre-videos, and you can set laptop input on it. So then you can roll in like the other stuff. The like if you look at websites and things like that for a show,
Very
you can bring all that in too. So it's a really cool product, but it's like $2,000 or something. So I don't have $2,000.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you got a friend or something.
I mean, maybe I need to rob a bank, or no, that's not the right way. That's not the right way to do it. Yeah.
OnlyFans, man.
I mean, hey, you know what?
Wiener pics.
Hey, feet. Apparently feet is the.
I don't know if feet is all that hot anymore.
I'm not into.
I think it's hot dogs.
I think feet are gross.
Next to feet.
Yeah, it's disgusting. Food and feet is even worse than just feet. Like a lot of people, I understand that people have their kinks, but feet to me are disgusting. Like they are just like an object that, like, it's like when you walk around on the ground and stuff, and they're always in a dirty ass shoe. Like, yeah, I don't know how anybody can be like, yeah, that's hot. Like I don't know. It's not my thing.
Maybe that's the allure, is the forbidden grossness of it.
Ugh. It's gross. It'd be like into 2 girls in 1 cup or something like that. It's freaking disgusting stuff.
That's really gross too. Especially, I don't know if there's like a good poo versus a bad poo, but most poo I would agree is bad poo.
So okay, so let's get into this. So when did you actually first start getting into like music and stuff like that?
Right. So I can either start this with when I started playing guitar, my influences, or something I heard on the radio, or I could talk about when I finally got into a band and found musicians to play with, which I guess I would just be like high school. Obviously, it's high school. Ran into some dudes. I loved fucking metal, like death metal. I loved it so much. I was just an elitist, hater, gatekeeper person because it was my thing. Mm-hmm. It's like fucking... you guys are all listening to pussy music.
Yeah, so you're that guy that like looked at me and said that all the bands I listened to because they were radio bands.
Name 3 songs.
Yeah, well, even that's even worse. Like I actually hate those people that do that to people.
Yeah,
and I've never seen it happen. Like I've never I always thought that was fake.
No,
but then a bunch of girls at ACM were saying that they literally got put on the spot like that multiple times, and I'm like, is there really douchebag dudes out there asking girls to name 3 songs because of a band shirt? Yeah. It's like I can't even name three songs. And I literally interviewed these guys. I can't even name all the songs of the Rumble. And I interviewed them like 3-4 weeks ago, and I've listened to all their albums. Like I don't know the names of all their songs. Like
I was a kid. I was just young and stupid, and it was my club. And at the time, like metal was not, popular. And I'm 40, so we're talking circa 99. Like there's just not a bunch of us, but like a gaggle of kids that were wearing black T-shirts with like Slayer or Korn on it. Mm-hmm. And you're like, yeah, man, these are our homies. We come from the trailer, and like we got the jocks and all that shit.
Yeah.
Didn't quite necessarily look at it like that, but it was like, if you're gonna wear a fucking Pantera shirt, you better fucking love Pantera, because I love Pantera. and for you to walk around parading it like it's a fashion statement or something, like, I don't know. It was just really silly.
Yeah, I mean, I have a few bands that I wear, but I actually listen to them. I have a Slayer shirt that I got.
Fucking love Slayer.
Well, I got a so I mean, it's actually, I don't know, you might have heard the story before because I've said it on the show before, but because actually, like, Dave is a major listener of our show, which I like. It was weird whenever we actually were talking one day, and then we realized that like he listens to my show, and been listening to it for a while,
all the time.
So, but like on there, like, okay, so like when I worked at Live Nation, I was doing a venue, helping venue management. I was like right under the main. There was like the main managers of the venue. They were regional, so like they would go venue to venue.
Yeah.
And then there was the in-house manager, which was in charge of security and was in charge of all the event staff in the building, and her name is Sanja. Like she was amazing manager. During one of the shows, we were having Slayer at the Film Auditorium in Denver.
Oh, great!
And so right before the show started, I ran over to the merch booth because I asked my boss. I was like, "Hey, I'm working Barricade. Can I go work? Can I go grab a shirt real quick?"
Yeah.
And they were like, "Yeah, man." And I was like, "Cool." And then so I ran over and I got my shirt and I put on my Slayer shirt and then I put on my work shirt over it. Right. So I had a Slayer shirt under it and I had my work shirt. Right.
Yeah.
And then I go over to the Barricade. And the main manager of the Barricade, that's like a lot of times it went by seniority of like experience. So like this guy is like an older guy, but like he is very experienced in Barricade. But whenever he looked at me and he saw me do that, went and got a Slayer shirt. He's like, "Wait, you're a metalhead?" And I was like, "Yeah, dude." Like I was like, "Fuck yeah!" And I was like, "What do you like?" And he goes, "Why? What's up?" And he goes, "Can you like run the gate?" Comes into the barricade, like comes out of the barricade.
Sure.
Because you gotta be able to push people, and you gotta be okay with that. Which a lot of metal people like we're just like bumping into each other and stuff. So I had my foot locked on, and I was like setting upward on this gate, and I was like standing, but like I would like literally just push into it, and I would say go, and then these people would run out back into the crowd. And then they'd get up and they crowd surf and they'd go right back into the barricade. And right when they hit the barricade, they'd pull them down and then they'd force them out. So then they would have to come around through my gate and stuff like that. And the whole time while I was like doing this, I was like horns up, just rocking out every song, just rocking out, right? And
you're a fucking cowboy, basically, right?
Yeah, it was fun. Yeah, basically, I mean, that's what you're doing. You're wrangling
fans.
Fucking people, yeah, like trying to get them out of there before the bulls hit, And so I'm doing this, and like right at the end of the show, we start our cleanup procedures, which is everybody gets out of the venue, and then which a lot of people don't really understand how it really works. Like whenever you leave a venue, people trash those places. Like there's like drinks everywhere on the ground, all this kind of stuff. So what they do is a lot of times is if it's not seating and they have to go in between the seats and clean it all up, kind of like a movie theater. If there's no seats, then what they do is they take these big brooms and they just throw it to all the workers, and all the event staff just go around cleaning up the venue together. And that includes a lot of times your sound people, your stagehands, just everybody that was a part of the putting on the show. We all work together, all the bartenders, everybody just works together to clean up the venue.
I suppose that's a good effort.
And yeah, so it's just a team thing, And so like we were cleaning up, and like right whenever I got off work, I pulled off my shirt because it was all covered in sweat and stuff. So I pulled it off, and I had the Slayer shirt on.
Yeah.
And this like traveling stagehand with Slayer goes, "Hey," and I was like, "What?" And I looked up, and he's like, "Hey, come here."
Oh shit.
And I was like, "Okay." And he's like, "Come up on stage." So I jumped up on the stage, because we just lift ourselves up and jump up. I jump up on stage. He's like, "Hey, I want you to meet somebody."
Oh, boy.
And I mean, I was like deer in headlights. We went to the back part of the venue, and I got to meet Slayer.
Hell yeah.
And I got to shake all their hands,
Yes.
and I didn't know what to say.
Right,
Like I was just
yeah.
like, "You guys are so awesome." So I was like, so I mean, to say that, like a lot of people, you try to be professional, and a lot of times, like I would talk to music artists, but that was whenever I was in the work mode brain. But whenever somebody puts you into the fan brain out of nowhere,
100%.
like every person that I know that's ever worked in venues, they always get starstruck whenever you go in there, and you're just like, "Holy crap." Like that was awesome. And so like I got to meet him and stuff, and that was probably one of the coolest things that I've done.
No, that's brilliant.
In that venue, you know.
Fucking,
So that definitely
takes me back
enjoyed it.
to one of my first experiences with Slayer. It's a lot of the same. I don't get that way anymore, unfortunately, like Starstruck.
Yeah.
And it's a shame, but yeah, dude, fucking, they played at the Diamond one time, and like their bus was out there, and Kerry King was like right fucking there with his bald head. And I didn't have anything except for like these shell top Adidas shoes. And I was like, I had him sign my ticket stub, and then I was like, will you sign my shoe?
So like, you have a signature.
Your shoe? All right, bud. And I was like, okay. And then like they were like my only shoes, so I ended up skating off the fucking signature. But still, it's just like, what do you do? Like,
get a napkin.
What do you do like with
I don't know. Like, okay, so like
rock stars and shit. It's
yeah,
like,
I mean, like I don't know.
You
like,
eating okay? Like, have you spoke to your mom? You have a dog at home?
Asking them like personal questions.
Yeah, because
how's your family?
They don't want to talk about. Well, I mean,
they don't want to talk about.
They don't.
Yeah,
know, it's like.
Well, and that's one interesting thing about this format is that like what I learned is that not all music artists want to talk about music when they're in this environment, and yet like the whole point of this environment is to expose the interview of music, you know. And but sometimes they want to talk about other subjects that are happening in the world, or they want to talk about like political stuff. Sometimes they want to talk about political stuff. I don't really do the political stuff, mainly because like I'm not going to destroy my cancel myself over that, because I'm a libertarian. So like, and I'm openly a libertarian type. I'm literally a registered Democrat, and like, and a lot of people on the Republican side that listen to the show, they don't like that. But it's like, but you know what? It doesn't mean I always vote that way. Sometimes I vote the other way. So
personally,
like, you know,
it's just by the issue. I think it's also convoluted, and it pulls people away with these titles that nothing really gets done. So I can't attach myself to anything. I mean, I'm a forward-thinking person. I'm a logical person.
Right.
But I can't be lumped into just one thing. You know, it's like, well, no, I don't agree with all the policies of this person or those policies. So, like, if you want to have a discussion, let's talk about exactly what it is, whether it's social issues or economics, defense, you know,
right, whatever the subject is.
Then we can work out something, and we'll find out pretty quickly that we're probably thinking the same thing. And there's no reason to dismiss another person just because.
No, it's just to see the world from their perspective and understand their point of view of why they think the way that they think.
Yes.
And a lot of times when I was inside the military, like we would get in those discussions. Sometimes they would get heated, but it's like, but at the end of the day, we'd all just tap beers and hang out, you know, and stuff. And so that's why I feel like that doesn't really happen anymore in society. People just like lump people out and shut them out. Kind of like what we were talking about before the show, how like, you know, like the whole cancel stuff where people just cancel people, and it's like, and just cancel to cancel. I mean, that's that they're like, oh, I didn't like that person, so I'm just going to, you know, cancel them. And
that one's a good and bad one. I mean, there needs to be room for improvement and for people to, oh gosh, no, is somebody emailing you?
No. But.
Dun 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 dun. Oops. What's going on over there?
Good thing that I got multiple recordings. I guess it is already recording. I don't know. It's not. I think it's already part of Snap. Looks like somebody else. Oh, okay. Never mind. That's good. Anyway, that's my stupidity. I'm looking at the screen and it says start recording, and I'm like, why does that show start recording in that? Because I have my finger like this. Yeah. And it shows start recording, but it's already running a recording. Oh, okay. So it's still recording. But anyway, yeah, I'm still trying to get the kinks worked out on that stuff. It'd be nice to have a studio. So if you know anybody that has a studio,
you'll get it worked out.
Yeah. But I mean, but that my thing is, I was actually looking at a No, I'm jumping around now, but I was looking at this location in what do you call it? So it's at Bethany, and this building is like $1,500, right? But it has 6 offices, and it's $1,500 a month. But there's like 6, 7 offices. Has a main area for like meetings and stuff. Yeah. And so like basically, my idea would be that if I could find tenants to fill those offices,
Yeah,
I could turn ones into studios because they already have that kind of setup look, and then turn have one for the main room as like a meeting area for like just things that people can do like for certain
Talking about
things.
like rehearsal spots for
Like,
people.
well, that
Yes
could
or
have like a
no?
room for that, room for podcasting, have a room that like where like artists can like sit down and actually like do like classes on like how to do things and
Yeah.
you know, like how to do
Sounds like a huge
publishing things
undertaking,
like that.
it
But
could,
but I think if I had the right people together, putting
Yeah.
our money together, we could probably make it happen,
yeah,
and just be like a business. But right now I'm just trying to get the video off the ground because I figure if I can do that, then YouTube and other platforms that do video, then I can start doing like Facebook Live or other video type stuff, and then I can start making like one of the things what I was doing. The reason why I'm interviewing venues right now mainly is because I'm trying to make a contact control where like I can bring them bands to
Yeah.
play, and then just ask them for 1 day a month. Basically, just give me 1 day a month, and every week I'd be at a different venue, but they give me that day. So then I book the artist, or I help them book the artist, and then we bring them in, and then just do a full like
a feature?
actual like feature of those artists, and
Yeah.
then and do it that way through there. So I have one venue is Income in Norman, which he would let me do it, and then a few other ones that around the city. Like I was I'm gonna be interviewing Leah from like A Gallery,
Yeah.
and
Just
stuff
saw
because
her
I have
last
art
night.
in there
It's
and
actually her
stuff.
birthday today.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Leah.
I don't know if you'll see this before. It might be recorded after when I finally put it out, but hey, happy birthday.
Sure.
But yeah, like and then Destiny from and Phil from the Grand Royale.
Grand Royale.
And then a few other
Diatribe.
and then try to get a few other ones on deck for it. A lot of these people I've added as admins. I forget if I added you or not as an admin of the group, but I think I did but it's because these are people that like I trust that I could bring in, and they're not going to try to do anything to like destroy what I'm trying to build.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're going to actually help me. They're not going to hurt it. I've actually been offered to do the show at Incom in Norman. The problem is,
What is income?
so Incom is originally, so there's a building next to it. It's called Norman Computers, and
Oh yeah. Is this
did that go on standby too?
Oh no.
I mean, this one's still recording, but I don't know if it's still recording. It might still be recording. I don't know.
Curse the gods.
Well, I'm wondering if it's plugged in the power, so I don't know. Unless that power plug
That was
not.
my favorite one. It had like really good lights on it.
Oh, I'm gonna get up and check it real quick.
Yeah, I saw that fellow the other day.
Oh, it is still on.
Oh no, I'm blanking. Murdoch?
Yeah, this is the issue. This is my favorite camera out of all of them, but it's the one I'm having the most trouble with, and I think it's a settings thing. I need to get JD.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my
Can
my
that
issue right now is that I need.
Can that be connected to a computer? And then
Yes.
you
Yeah, I
mess
can
with the
connect
settings
the
that way?
wire just like it is here to that camera. I can run it to that one too.
Like my
So-
pedals sometimes, or even my phone, you can like mess with the settings inside of it. I don't know.
Yeah, I'll look it up because I want to make sure that one actually gets good recordings. But that camera and also like pictures and stuff because I can do pictures with that. And I can have a clicker where I can control it from like there, from like a little what is it? Bluetooth clickers, and hit a button and it will start taking pictures and stuff. But anyway,
Hello.
jumping all over the place this episode. Basically, like I need almost a team to be able to do this, and on a big level.
true.
And
It's
that's why
pretty
I'm
big.
trying to.
It's a lot of work.
But I also need to make money to do it, and so like, and with school and work and everything like that, it's starting to become a task to be able to do it.
Always.
And stuff, and at the same time, like there's nothing wrong with ACM if you're like new to the music industry and you're young. I get it, like, but you know, like, but I have been having some second thoughts about like going there right now, just because of the fact that, like, you know, the stuff I'm learning, I kind of have already read the books.
Yeah,
And,
I mean,
but the projects are helpful. Like the projects I'm doing, and we're supposed to like do some stuff, you know, in classes that are related to the actual field. And so I think if we're doing that more field work, I think that that's the better way to teach a college like that, is to like I mean, I think it's messed up that, you know, an elementary school student can go to sign a release form and go on a thing of like a museum, you know,
Field trip.
and like a field trip. But yet you can't do a field trip at an event and have people sit in, like sound engineers sit in with sound engineers. They don't do any of that kind of stuff there. Like it seems like you'd want people other than your practicum and your internship to like be around that stuff, you know, like, and actually like have it directly in it. So then you're like, I'm learning from the actual skills that I need to know to be able to do live sound, or I'm learning the skills that I need to do these things. So I think more of a textual, like a tech school style way of doing it is probably better, like, because it's more hands-on, you know, and it's a hands-on field. I mean, like that's one thing I did notice. Just like I also noticed that whenever I was in the class for where we made like, was it like covers and like album covers and stuff for music.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, like I thought it was funny because I watched Circling the Square. Have you ever seen that? It's like a documentary on Netflix. It's about how the guys that worked with Pink Floyd made their album covers.
Oh no, I definitely haven't seen that.
And it's pretty legit.
With the pig flying.
Yeah, the pig flying,
the burning guy, and
yep.
The wall.
And the wall, and one, and then like the what do you call it? There was another artist where like they took multiple photos of something in multiple locations and of the same on the same set of rocks, and it was like somebody's kid, I guess. But like they took multiple pictures of this like kids and stuff on this all these rocks, and then they took like scissors and they printed them all out and they started cutting them all. And they started putting them together, and then it became like this collage of like all these different movements of the same characters. So like, but those are old ways of making covers. Nowadays, it's just digital, and they go on Photoshop and they say generate a bar behind this person, and suddenly it generates a bar. And
or like, you find a picture of a foot.
Well, right now you got like a scene going there, but
curse the gods. Twist around. Oh my god. Come on now. There we go.
Yeah. So,
yes. That is my art.
Yeah, that's a foot. I don't know if you could see it, but I'll probably post a photo. But yeah, there's a foot for some reason. I'm pretty sure it's a dead person that they murdered, but you know, whatever.
I think it's an autopsy photo.
Oh, is it? Yeah. Of somebody you murdered, or like?
No, man.
No, man.
I didn't fucking do it, dude. I wasn't even there.
I wasn't even there. There's no evidence. I wasn't there.
God damn it.
Yeah, but yeah, no. But yeah, so I was looking at a place though to like kind of an idea to just like get people together that are trying to do similar things, and then turning it into like an agency, so then like people can just come and get all the stuff that they need, you know. But like if they need a photographer, you're like, oh well, I got 3, you know, like or we have this person, kind of like how record labels do it. But like I don't know, because I mean I also own the website More Bands Records, which is a future plan. I also own More Bands Radio. That's actually a more plan coming up soon.
What would you do with that, with the radio? Is it like a playlist perhaps?
So online radios, right? Like there's a bunch of them popping up now. There's Rock the Range. There's
like college radio kind of dealies.
Kind of similar. They're online,
like
but you can
KXV, from Seattle.
But some of them you can the online radio stations that are independent, like the main thing is because you get the license to do the music stuff, and then you don't have to worry about getting hit with copyrights you do with podcasting.
Yeah, sounds like The Spy in a way with some of the stuff that they do.
Yeah, and so like one of them, they go to like Radio King is one of the websites. There's Radio CO, and then there's like there's a couple other ones. But basically, you go on there, you create that, you can load it with like the podcast, right?
Yeah.
I can load other podcasts to it, and I can also load music, independent artists that submit music. I can put their music in it, right? And then make it where in between at certain times of the day or something, it just plays certain episodes of like different music podcast.
Right.
So then when somebody's listening to it, they're like, oh, there's bands, and then there's like podcasts about music and stuff like that. Similar to like the normal radio station does radio shows and stuff. The Cat's doing interviews now with music artists on their local show.
I think the Cat makes sense because it's an FM radio station and it's never going to go away. Whereas some of these playlists or concepts like that get lost. I like the playlist thing that's on Spotify that Make Oklahoma Weirder does.
Yeah.
Because they're highlighting Oklahoma bands, or even for that matter, Oklahoma Rock Show and their showcase. So
yeah, I like the Oklahoma Rock Show. I actually need to. I'm going to be on his show. But we just haven't figured it out yet. He was going to come on the podcast
really?
back whenever me and Brad were doing it together. He was going to come on, and we just could never match schedules. So, but I figured that if I work with him,
yes,
then I can do a cross promotional episode where
100%.
where like we're interviewing each other, and so then it becomes one of those like I put it on my feed, he puts it on his, and then we both kind of a win-win.
100%.
And so then we can put those episodes out, or an episode out that talks about like what we do with the whole interviewing thing, and then what he does with like curating playlist for the Oklahoma Rock Show on the Cat. So but yeah, I mean it's just more of a communal environment, like getting everybody connected and bringing everybody together to work together to kind of build the scene here instead of like just doing what it's always done, which is it builds up and then it breaks down, and it builds up and it breaks down because everybody just gets so, I don't know, they get at each other's throats sometimes out here, which is crazy.
I think it's just hard to say. Like I know I've listened to you talk about Tulsa and Oklahoma and the variations of Oklahoma people are more likely to get out, and Tulsa people, like the locals, will come support. But I think there's something happening here in the sense of like the sanctuary and hardcore, for that matter, and art, music, even the hip hop, if you will. But I don't know. It is splintered, and I don't know. It could also relate to Oklahoma just being a small populated place, so it could be difficult. But there's always new crops of musicians coming out and coming up, moving in, moving out. I don't know. I'm trying not to be pessimistic about it.
Oh no, I'm trying to be positive too. But I've also almost like thought about shutting down the show like 4 times so far since I just started doing it by myself.
I think it's a matter of just
because of the fact that that just
focusing what your intent is and where you can really help people. And for me, I think helping people is like what you talked about, like doing business for people, creating their flyers, how to speak with managers, booking agents, how to like showcase your band and your talent, proper editing techniques, copyright, like the whole gambit of music business.
Yeah.
Like it's overlooked. Once I started booking, I started seeing a lot more raw approaches, and I was like, these people are not aware of it. Like for me, like I did go to school and I've had experience with it. I've done tons of DIY shows, but there needs to like a type of education, like a different ACM, if you will. A DIY ACM is what is needed.
Yeah, which is what ACM originally was the DIY thing, and then it turned into ACM, and it seems like once they turn into a college thing, they kind of get different because they get controlled.
It definitely got
more.
weird, and it sucked because it got all I don't want to say commercial, but like you just said, scholarly. It's like you can't, hang out in the little computer room and like goof off, but it's like this is actually the scene of musicianship and camaraderie, like Laurel Canyon, if you will, when all those hippies are like hanging out and sharing songs and smoking weed and just goofing off. Like we had a vibe like that. Like I fucking play death metal and math rock, and then I need a country dude and a hip hop dude over here, and we'd just be like just vibing, and that culture's not there. So if there's like a way to facilitate that, and that's what I think is going on with like places like the Sanctuary, is there's an opportunity for people to express themselves in a true community in an organic way. But then you're like, how do I make money?
Yeah, and that's the part that I
But
run
you can
into.
make money.
Yeah, I mean, you can make a lot of money doing music if you're doing like the
Fucking managing, like setting up shows. It's just so simple for somebody.
Yep.
Like, I get these messages from, and I don't want to discredit bands and say that they're not good, but they're lower level bands. And then I get emails from people who are just like, here's my band, take it. And I know that they're going to get 10%. And all they have to do is just send out a blanket email, and then they're getting paid. Like, it's just so easy. Like, just a fucking template, shoot it out, shoot it out. I've got like fucking 15 bands from all over the fucking states. So, like, whatever it is, like, there is a way to make money. For me, like, for bands, I'm like, you need to make merchandise. But for, like, a person like yourself, you know, obviously it's going to get into sponsorships or some type.
Right. Well, and that's the thing is that the whole point of value for value, and I mean, there's something to be said about it, but I also feel like that it only works if people actually donate, you know, and early on we did have that.
There's got to be value.
Yeah, and that's
know?
the thing is that, and the thing is with the music stuff, like, I mean, the only value you're really offering is that you're exposing people to bands. But if you start exposing
Or
them
behind the scenes, you know, having
Yeah.
a conversation like this, like if you were to cut up this episode and really just highlight what it's about, not in a clickbait manner, but
Right.
just like, here, I'm having this interview with David Carlyle. He's a local musician that's been playing for, 20 years, and this is his insight of how to do it and what to and what not to do.
Right.
And then, like, that's the clickbait. And then, like, the ads are, like, local shit, which does take time, like, I don't know, like, fucking, say, like, haul a truck down here, like,
Yeah.
true culture, like, fucking,
Yeah.
it's like, hey, man, I'll run your ad for some musicians that love your food
Yeah.
because they're going to get tips on, like, how
Right.
to wire up your pedal properly so that you don't sound like ass, or feedback, or, like, mixing tips. And I don't know. There's a lot.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's just me, like,
Like I know that people enjoyed like a lot of the artist side of it. They enjoyed the gearhead stuff that whenever Brad and what's his name would like or his other buddy would like always talk about that stuff. And it's even in the room, like I'd be dumbfoundedly
I'm fucking
lost.
falling asleep listening to that
Like
shit.
yeah, I'm like I don't
I like to hear about the scene. I like to hear the tootiness, like who's booking what, like the numbers, and like just knowing it's down the street. It's like some shit happened at Blue Note. Like we can talk about that. This is some tasty. What do you call that? Like spiciness, like the fucking Battle of the Bands deal. And then the next thing you
talk
got
about
the flyer,
yeah. So you're talking about the thing where like
plagiarism,
where
in a way.
where there was a battle of the bands at a gallery or
Point
A
A
gallery
for Leah.
Yeah, for Leah. And I went to that one. It was actually a really good show. I hope because I haven't heard anything back from it, but we did have a girl fall out during the show. I don't know why.
Like,
I don't know if she
fall
just
down.
like she was in a chair, and I looked over, and being somebody that used to work in venues, I knew that there was something wrong.
Oh, okay.
But I thought maybe she was just sleeping on her boyfriend. So I was just about to say, hey, maybe you guys need to go tell her to wake up because she can't be sleeping in a bar or venue, right? And in an area where like they serve, they're like serving booze with donation. I think is how they're doing it there right now as private events.
Yes.
But yeah, she was like on her head was laying against the wall, and she fell backwards in her chair and slipped right out of the chair. And as she was falling,
Like a noodle.
yeah, basically, and but she hit her head on the wall, and then she hit it on the chair, and then she hit it on the ground, and it was like all three. And her boyfriend was like, "Oh crap!" and like went to go grab her. And these two, shout out to them, these two punk rocker kids, they ran in there and they grabbed her, and they made sure she was all right and everything, and got her going. We ended up calling me and another person ended up calling the medical to come out and stuff, and so I held the door open. It was freezing that night. That was whenever it was like negative temperatures and stuff. Like it was really cold out, like really cold. 10 degrees I think was like the highest the temperature.
I'm probably gonna be there tonight. Checking that place out.
Yeah, I mean it's a pretty
The
cool
scene
little
of the
spot.
crime.
Yeah,
See if there's any blood.
it's no.
I'm not trying to be negative.
No, but yeah. So we
But yeah,
we went
they
there.
locked down a show like months ahead, like Charlie Canty, and ironically, Blue Note, and it like this is like kind of against my own interest because I work for Chris Simons at Lost Highway,
Right.
so inadvertently, like I'm connected to Red.
Yeah.
But like, it is what it is. You know, like this fucking band locked down this concept. It's like band versus band, two piece. And then the next thing you know, like Blue Note's got a show. It's like some fucking Royal and this other band were playing versus novelty of it. And it was like,
yeah. And it's like
but,
the
like,
fight of the century or something
somebody
like that.
just like did like a little nod and was like, yeah, we saw that, you know.
No, it was Straight White Buffalo, which I'm
Yeah.
kind of glad that he did
Yeah, it's
because
hilarious.
he is the perfect person to do that. Where he's like, oh, I see what you guys are doing.
Yeah.
Like, you
And
know,
I thought it wasn't like rude or anything. It was just like, it was direct. And I've heard there was some flack about it. And I'm just like,
people
let it
just kind of
go.
laughed about it in a way. Like a bunch of us just were cracking up about the fact that it happened
This is
because we were just like, really, like would they would really do that? You know,
what are you going
like
to take next? The mobster idea?
yeah,
Or whatever?
yeah. It's like, are you? Well, I mean, there is a lot of that going on around the city, though. They're like, oh, let's have an art night. Oh, let's have this. Oh, let's have that.
Yeah.
So they're literally just taking each other's ideas because they're trying out everything now. To the point where, like, because they're just trying to make money. I mean, they're trying to make money. They're trying to keep their
do
businesses
something
afloat.
unique. I think the most
know?
unique thing I've seen so far is Speakeasy's Mario Party or no, Mario Kart with a backing band. Mm-hmm. That is the baddest ass shit.
So
There's
it's like
a
playing on a
fucking-
big screen, and then
They got the
just
drums and the flutes and like the
oh yeah.
and they're on the stage just like playing like a 4-player Mario.
Oh, that's cool.
It's fucking badass, dude. I don't think it's the actual music, but it's close enough.
Yeah, you
and that's
know,
fucking dope.
that's-
Just to like watch people play a video game with a band on the side, like I don't know, man. There's some creative ideas out there, and I'm
Yeah.
excited to see like what comes up.
Yeah, I mean, it's that's the whole thing. It's like you have to be original, and people will see through originality whenever it comes to like watching certain things happen. Whenever like the city, and they'll do an event, and then another venue will do the same event, and another venue do the same event. It's like the blowing up of like open mics, and I love open mics. I love the idea that that they're just random artists are just getting up there and just playing them. It's almost like Nashville, but like whenever they do that stuff, it's like if every single place is doing it, just like karaoke, like if every bar is doing karaoke, then is it really like, I mean, are you going to go to that bar all the time?
With that
Because I go to the
one-
Grand Royale a lot more now.
Yeah.
And the reason why is because they do things that other places won't do. They'll play artists that other places won't.
Yeah.
They'll she'll book bands. They booked that one band. I think you were there that night, but I ended up having to leave because I went to my nephew's birthday. But yeah, that band
forget
that
how
had
to
like
say- yeah.
the fire drums and all that stuff, like
They were brilliant.
yeah, that sounds awesome. Like that, and the videos were crazily awesome. Like it all looks freaking sweet.
With the karaoke thing, I think it's spread out enough that like people can walk to the bars and kind of have their own vibe going. I will admit that Tower's kind of killing it with what they're doing there. They got the lights; they make it look like an actual show.
Okay.
But I also like the punk rock karaoke's that people will do, or just like something new and exciting. I haven't seen a hip hop one because I guess I don't know a lot of rappers.
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
Well,
like,
I know if you look
karaoke
up
rappers. I
don't think many people have gotten up to do
doing some
karaoke
fucking
rap.
bone,
Well, I mean, like that would be. Well, I mean, what would you call that? Like, would you consider? I mean, they're not rapping. I mean, I've seen people rap karaoke, like do rap songs in karaoke.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But I guess like what my question would be like, what would be in like an open mic for rappers would probably just be like
That's
the
like
freestyling.
bubbly slam poetry.
Yeah,
kind
like
of stuff.
or like free, which I like I used to watch what is it the poetry stuff, Def Poetry. I used to watch that a lot.
Nice.
So I mean that's really good. But yeah, like what it like I don't know. I think it would be more like similar to like what you saw in like the 8 Mile movie. It's like just people getting together, and I guarantee those things exist here.
Oh,
it's
a
just people don't. I
battle.
mean, because I know I had a
Rap battles of
Yeah.
pistol.
yeah.
In this corner.
God, nobody it probably even knows what we're talking about because we're nerds. Like
Everybody knows epic rap battles.
epic rap battles.
Mustard versus ketchup. I'm a fucking. I don't know.
But yeah,
I
like
was about to unload that motherfucker. Rhymes.
rhymes. But yeah, so we're sitting at like 44 minutes. Do you want to play some music?
Totally. Right. So I'm known for this band called Giraffe Massacre. It's myself, formerly Nick Morgan. We have these hiatuses all the time, but I think it's sticking. I'm kind of looking for a drummer as well, so if anybody hears this. But this is a new song I released with Tim from Speak Memory. It's called what is it called? Side effects may include. It's a split EP. That's what it's called. Alright, that was Side Effects Include off Giraffe.
Oh shit!
Yeah, that's
Then it was playing another song.
yeah. Anyways, well, that's on Spotify and all streaming.
So what side effects may it include?
I don't think these things through.
There was a band.
They're called Giraffe. My band's called Giraffe Massacre. I mean,
Yeah, I mean you're just going around massacring
no, it's
long-necked animals.
not at all. I put pieces together, words, and fuck giraffes. I'm indifferent.
I led you down
about
that. I led you down that path. I trapped you.
No,
Yeah.
I will never admit
Yep.
that.
Yep, you're gonna get canceled by zoos across America.
Oh my gosh.
They'd be like, he's not allowed here. Why? Because he massacres giraffes. And and they're like, well, can't even go to the show at the zoo amphitheater. Because you might sneak off. You might sneak off and go find the giraffes.
There's tabs on all of my fans right now. PETA's just coming after them. Animal crackers.
PETA, like Family Guy PETA? PETA.
PETA Griffin.
PETA Griffin.
No.
Or what is it? Hunger Games. PETA. It's like stupid.
Did I let you inside of my house?
No, because I mentioned that movie.
Oh my gosh.
It's such a great movie.
The Hunger Games?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't like that movie. It was just so commercial, man. Oh my god.
I like that movie Snowpiercer. That's a good one.
Is that supposed to be the pre or something?
It's just like it's a similar concept in a way.
Oh yeah.
In a way.
Oh no.
It's fucked up.
Make a whole other podcast about just talking about movies and shows.
Exactly.
Called Watch This Shit,
Yeah.
That,
I think I know some friends that are going to do that.
yeah. They're going to call it that.
Yes.
Watch that.
I don't even know how you knew that.
How do you know that they're going to call the show Watch This Shit?
Okay.
Jesus.
Anywhoozle.
Oh, man. So, did you talk about anything that was on your list? Because you said you had a list of things that you wanted to talk about.
I was going to... I thought I was being interviewed. I was going to talk about who I was, like where I got
we did.
Guitar, like my musical influences, people that I've met, work that I've done here in the city.
So what work have you done here in the city? See, you got to give me these things so I know what to ask you. See,
I guess
if you want it to be planned, a planned interview, and I don't do planned interviews, I do like off the sheet or pants of whatever we're talking about.
They're very good.
100%. But yeah, if you want to be more organized, then I already started my interview process, which is asking you how you got into music.
Oh yes.
So what bands have you played in that people would actually know around the city?
Yeah. All right. Giraffe Massacre.
Yeah.
Plastic Smile. Earth Made of Glass. Anomalous. Done some stuff with Electra. What the hell did she call that? Annihilation Carousel.
That sounds awesome. Like that. That's a cool name.
Yeah. Then there's like earlier new metal stuff. Death of a Prophet. Collapse of the State. I guess those are most of the highlight ones, other than my cover band, my Ghost tribute band, Pope Star.
Did you have to look at the? Yeah. It's a nice photo you got there.
Thank you. I made that. It's kind of crappy, but it works.
It's an image of him,
Other images of shows. I used to do a bit of stuff over at the Root. I had a contact from Austin that would send me international bands like Jean from France, a ton of Trio from Japan. Bear Cubbin came through. A lot of mathy stuff. I love math rock.
And what's the story behind that?
Leftover nihilism from being a youngster. I still kind of feel the same way. I just don't drink as much.
If you're listening and not watching the video, because I'm trying to get into that concept of that. There's people doing multiple things while watching the show. He has this picture in here that has a bunch of writing on it, and it just says
that's my art.
Small letters. Did you make that one?
Drink.
Yeah.
Eat. Shit. Fuck. And all it's eat, fuck, shit, and all the shit between, which is drinking, shitting, and sleeping. And then you fucking repeat it, and then you've got existence.
Yeah, so it's just life, like that. That is literally
basically
depiction of life.
Yeah, that's the brass tacks, man. But no, I don't feel that way.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about what you're doing nowadays with the Lost Highway.
Yeah, picked up a gig booking over there. I reach out for bands. Negotiate a deal. I make flyers, do some PR work, run the page, the Instagram, and the Facebook. And then I also got a sweet deal running sound too. Because most of the artists that we do over there, it's a bi-weekly short set. I think it's like an hour and a half, basically, plus the break. And then I run sound. Yeah.
So yeah, but okay. So like, I guess my question would be to you, because you've been somewhat through the same
What is your question?
type of coursing as I have been, and you're kind of in that environment. And you just now said you make flyers and you do all that kind of stuff. Whose responsibility do you think it is to promote a show?
Oh yeah, it's definitely a combination of both. 100%. The bar has a reach, but your fans know you better. If you don't apply yourself, nobody's going to know. Like your coworkers, your friends, your family, your whole support system. So you've got to share it. I'll make it for you. I'll make it accessible, but it's really good to post it at least, once, twice a week. You might feel like you're annoying people, but you're not. And if you are annoying people, then those people aren't really your support system, and they need to be dismissed. So I think it's a combination of both.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, see, because I've always looked at it as that it's like everybody's involvement, like it's an example of like bartenders. Bartenders want to, like, a lot of them do this now. Is that if they want people to come in the door to provide them with money, because that's their lifeblood. A lot of them do social media now. They do like, oh, I'm at work right now, come and visit me, and I've seen that with a lot of our friends.
Especially up at Lost, Emma's really good about sharing it on her profile, because that's what it is. We want people to come in. We want people to watch your band. It's a whole ecology, cycle.
I don't know what any words you just said meant, because you went.
Yeah, I don't know how to say the
camera
word.
Stop recording again, man. I don't know what's up with that camera. Yeah. Oh well, I got this back up over here, and I hope that was recording something. I don't know what the computer was doing, so I don't know if it's still recording or if it's not. I don't know what's going on. These softwares are all jacked up. I just need to learn how to do. Well, the thing is, all these gamers, like, I need somebody that's a gamer that's really good with like Streamlabs, so I can just start using Streamlabs, because I'm not good at Streamlabs at all. Like, I did not know how that shit works. Like, very well.
Twitch deal?
Like, I have a channel on Twitch for the local earshot, but the Streamlabs is the one software that is very easy, I guess. Like, once you learn how to do it, it's really easy to manipulate. But like, problem is they don't have a good. They have that new Ultra for talk radio like that, so you can do recordings and stuff. I use Riverside, which is Riverside FM is like a software that I'm using right now. But that one's really good for remote. So if I do a remote interview, like if I was at my apartment, I talked to you from here, it'd be no problem. Like I could get that started in a minute, right?
Yeah.
And I can do that interview over remotely. But the whole problem with it is that when you're doing in room like this, you have to have the controller and everything else, because apparently they don't allow multiple cameras on their softwares. So the only way to get multiple cameras on those softwares is if you use Streamlabs instead, and you can bring in multiple cameras in Streamlabs. But you have to place their sizing on the screen, and you got to do all this other work that you don't normally have to do with these other softwares. You just load them up and go.
Interesting.
But you can set up Streamlabs where it has all those things already set. So like my DJ friend out of New York, Preeti, that DJs, she does Twitch, and she has all of her settings already set in her thing. So all she does is change her backgrounds for her green screen, and then she's good to go. And then she just DJs on it and stuff, and it's pretty badass to watch. Like, because she has all these cool ass backgrounds like going on, all these scenes in the background going on.
Very cool
stuff. But yeah, so you're booking over there, and like. But that was my one of those questions that keeps on coming up though with people, is that like a lot of venues think that it's the artist's responsibility to bring people to the door, and I believe that it is, but I also believe that it's also their job to bring people in the door, because if they don't, then guess what? You don't have a business. And the ones that aren't focusing on that, they're all slowly trying to find other things to do, because they're going out of business, and they think that it's because the artists aren't doing it. And it's like, well, some artists, they even say like they're party bands and they're not going to promote anything; they're just going to come and play. So there's artists out there that are like that too. You know, that say that. But I believe that it's everyone. Another one that I didn't understand is the booking thing. And it's like questions about booking. So one of the people that graduated from ACM, one of my friends, Nikki Jackson, she had a post, and it was talking about how an in-house booker, they're being paid, they're a talent buyer, they're not bookers technically, but what they feel is that, well, I book the band, so I get 10%. They're in-house,
Yeah, exactly.
right? Like, they're not working for the artist. A booker's job that works directly with artists is to find venues and play at, to book them, and then they get 10% because they work for the artist. They don't work for the venue.
We spoke
right?
about that a little bit earlier.
Yeah, and so it's like, well, what do you do in that situation where they're working for the venue, but then they expect to get money from the artist, and when in truth, the venue should be paying them, not the artist. And that's what she was talking about. That they were saying that the venue wasn't going to pay nothing to this worker, that they get paid by the artist, and so they're basically making the artist pay for everything up front to play there. It's pay to play, and it's like, and to me, I'm like, cool. Well, then we'll just collectively make the artist never play your venue again until you go out of business. Because like, why should they be playing places where they're not making money because you're taking all their money?
Depends on. I don't know the full story with something like that. Like, I mean, you gave me elements of it, but hypothetically, suppose it was like a Live Nation or something, and they just happen to have a huge reach of some sort. Because I was listening to Ari's take recently, and I think it was like the Loaded Bowl or something, and he was really grilling this woman about like why they keep a percentage, and I forgot what it was exactly, but it related to like their poll and their action of what they're doing. I don't have an exact answer for that. I know, like, I will say, like, where I'm at, my bar pays me.
Right.
I don't take anything from, like, we just do a door deal straight up, and that's it.
Right.
And that money is yours. I don't get any of that shit. I
Yeah.
want you to have it because I'm a musician myself.
Right.
And I want it to be fair. I'm transparent. I've got it all in writing, and we'll go from there. But I can't think. Sorry, I can't even talk right now. Been drinking. There are some
drinking.
scenarios that would make sense, but I can't think of any right now, unfortunately. So I have no contribution, and I just wasted your time.
No, I just want to put that out there.
But yeah, I would definitely.
I just want to bring out
place.
the subject because
If it doesn't
like
make
I want
sense,
people
then burn
to
that place down. Yeah.
Yeah, like
Just don't
if you-
fucking play there.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
What is
that-
the perk of playing
so
there? If there's a perk to playing
that's-
there, and they like get you on like a higher level and sell more merch for you or something, or get you to the next level that you need to be, then maybe. But ultimately, no.
Yeah, and that's the way that I've always looked at it, is like that without customers, you don't have a business. And without if you're going to run a venue and you're going to call yourself a venue, then, you probably should play by the same rules as almost 90% of the people across the country.
Yeah.
Because when you're making your own rules, which is what a lot of places out here do, because there's not a lot of regulation on it out here, they tend to push it in a way where like people feel that they are being taken advantage of, and a lot of times they are, and it's like because they know that they don't know how it really works, and so they don't know that how they're supposed to get paid and all that kind of stuff. It's almost like another one that she had. That was a post that was about what was it? Bands carrying their royalty licenses to play covers.
Bands carrying their
They don't. There's no such thing as this. But a venue asked a band if they had it's like this.
How does that? What?
Sorry. So
a venue has.
So
to
a
have,
venue has to have a license to be able to play.
It's like a PRO, like a
Yes.
and
So they don't get
if
sued.
a band plays covers, then
Yeah.
you need to at least have one of them, like an AMI or CSAC,
Right.
But if it's their song,
Well, I'm saying like as in an artist, not for their songs. I'm talking about like a band that does cover songs, right?
Oh.
And a venue asked them if they
Is that even
had
a thing?
no. The venue side of it is like the venues owning
Yes.
having a license to
But,
play like commercial music and all
like
that
if I
kind of
walked
stuff.
in with an acoustic and I was like, I'm gonna play Wonderwall. Here's my
Yeah, no,
license.
there's no such thing.
okay.
Yeah, there's no such thing as that in that way.
That's preposterous.
Like, and that's what I'm saying is that some venues are asking people if they have that stuff because they don't want to pay the money for the license, basically, and so they think that. Now, honestly, I feel like maybe they should. Like, I mean, if an artist is going to play covers, I feel like that they should have some type of license like that in existence, just because then it makes it where that person is just taking care of the royalties on a big level. So everybody's kind of, the pot becomes really big and the amount that you get from each person is lower, but collectively it's the same amount of money that you're going to make, unless they're charging these people a flat rate for the venues. But like, I don't know how that works, because I'm still learning licensing.
Yeah.
But I mean, but that's one of the issues I run into with the podcast, is that, like, you know, whenever you go through YouTube and you get hit with a content ID, the problem with the content ID thing is there is no real way to dispute it. And so there's no way to get your content up, because there's no way to put the license directly on it. There's no document that I can have people fill out. And so like I have to make one up myself, and then I have to call and email somebody at this company or call YouTube and be like, hey, I have the license to do this. And then I have to go through a lot of red tape to get it played, or I have to remove all the music from the show, which defeats the purpose that this is a show that promotes music. And so that's the problem I'm running into with this show now, is that as it grows, I'm running into these new licensing issues, because a lot of these companies are cracking down now. And so that like they'll say, and most of it is coming from CD Baby, of all things, because they're a distribution channel. But there's no place it said on there, it said, you know, you got hit with this copy thing. If you have permission, then contact CD Baby. Cool. I hit up the artist that had their music on my show, and I said, hey, can you go on your account on CD Baby and just like clear me or something to see if they're there? No, you can't do any of that. No. Which is that means that the infrastructure, they pass these laws, and then there's no infrastructure to actually make it where you could do it digitally, because they're so far behind, behind the tech. So, you know, and then so I'm like, that needs to be done. Like, you know,
speak to that one. That was just like so convoluted. I would assume that YouTube, it has the software to do it, but it's in their responsibility, because it's their platform to take care of those things. But like, just to clear something, like even you playing this right now, like you might get knocked up by I forget who my distributor, I think it's like DistroKid. Yeah. Might be like, yo, what's up?
Right. And they might email you and you go, oh, it's fine.
Oh, really?
Yeah, sometimes they do that. That's what I'm saying. DistroKid does that sometimes. Well, they'll hit up the artist and they'll say, oh, yeah, I got a notification.
Well, that would be convenient. That's perfect.
But that's what I'm saying. That's all that needs to happen. It's just a notification from their company saying, hey, you were like there. And normally I don't run into it in this way. I don't normally run into it when, let's say, I put in the show like notes and I put in, you know, David Carlyle in Giraffe Massacre, like in the band, interviewed. Then they'll look at that and they'll go, oh, okay, obviously the music in the episode is from that. But then when I start playing other people's music, like a playlist episode, those are the ones that got hit. I had them taken off of Spotify. I had them taken off of YouTube, like all sorts of ones. They blocked me, and they didn't even let me put up the episodes. And there was no way for me to show that I had licensing, even though I got permission to play every song that I played from those channels. So I don't know. And
I don't know what to do with something
so
like that.
I'm trying to figure it out, but
hello, dog.
Yeah, dog. So, but you want to wrap this up, because I gotta go to do work for something. So
yeah, totally. This has been fun. Right. This has been a good time.
Yeah, and I mean we'll definitely talk again, because you know, like I always enjoy our talks about music and stuff.
Same.
But it's just, I think you probably need to get more comfortable with this environment. And also this room and stuff we're trying to do there. And, well, that just cut off anyway, too. So we just lost the video of everything. Cool. Because things are just cutting off because of power and other things. That was totally power on that.
It's all good, man.
Anyway, so the Local Earshot podcast, I run on the value for value system. That is time, talent, and treasure. I value everybody's time for listening. I know that there's many podcasts out there you could be listening to, but I'm glad that you chose to listen to mine. As for we'd call it time, like, you know, whenever you listen to the show, you're giving up your time to listen. Talent, if you're an artist and you want to be on the show, you can reach out to me at john@thelocalearshot.com. Or on the Instagram pages, Facebook, anything on social. Just look us up, and you can just message me or whatever. And then for treasure, if you want to donate to the show, you can go over to thelocalearshot.com. There's a tab that says donate, and then you can just click on that, and there's a couple different options. I take Venmo, Cash App, and stuff like that. I am slowly moving the platform over to a different podcast platform. That one offers ads and stuff like that, because I figured that for a show like this involving the industry that I'm in, I'm probably going to have to go commercial with it because donations aren't really happening anymore. So I got to run it. So, but yeah. You have any shout outs or anything you want to talk about? You're just staring at the dog? Just decided to come in here and lay down in the center.
I'm surprised they didn't come in here sooner. No, this has been a blast. I look forward to doing it again.
All right.
And I love you.
Yeah. Is there any socials or anything
for
like
me?
That? Yeah.
Just
anything that you want people to know. And obviously you don't want people to know your personal, but
just Giraffe Massacre. Give me money.
All right.
Well,
play their songs and then they'll get money.
Bandcamp,
yeah. Play on Bandcamp. They do actually pay artists more money.
Yeah.
Than Spotify. And Spotify, just so everybody knows, pays the lowest industry rate. So if you use any platform other than Spotify and stuff, for like it would be so much better for everyone, because I use Spotify because I have to. I don't like Spotify.
I'm not gonna lie, I love it, but it's just
I love the idea. Like for a listener side, it's fucking amazing. You just like $10 and play whatever the hell you want. But for the artist side of it, there's a reason why the industry's taking a hit financially, is because like things like that are destroying the industry. So, but anyway, so thank you for listening, and I'll see you on this side.
Where are you going?
Where I'm going from here, I'm going to go feed animals.